What's up, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to do a 50-50 to fakie. I'm going to go over a quick explanation of how to do this trick. So before you learn this trick, you need to know how to do a 50-50. After you're really comfortable doing 50-50s, you can do the 50-50 to fakie. It's just going to add a little more style. So you'll get into the 50-50 with a little bit of speed, and as you start to slow down, you're going to turn your back shoulders into the ramp. Then you're going to lean forward, put your weight on your toes, and actually slide the back of the board with your back foot into the ramp. While you're sliding your back wheels into the ramp, you're going to lift your front wheels up so they don't get hung up on the coping. Until you're past the coping, then you can put them down and roll away. So that's basically how you do it. Now I'm going to talk about some beginner steps that'll help you get to that point where you can actually do 50-50 to fakies. With tricks like this, they're really scary to just jump right into. So you have to kind of practice some beginner steps before you can actually learn this trick. So beginner step to learning this trick is to learn how to do a kick turn. Just keep kick turning on the ramp, just turning backside right before you get to the coping until you're comfortable enough to do a pivot. A pivot is where your back wheel just barely gets over the coping. It's like a little slasher grind. So to do a pivot, you're going to approach the coping with enough speed to get your back wheel over the coping. And as you get to the top, you're going to turn your front shoulder the direction you want your board to turn. Just turning your front shoulder is going to turn the rest of your body and your board, because the rest of your body and your board, it's just going to follow your front shoulder and your front arm. Just barely get that wheel up on the coping and then keep turning all the way back into the ramp. So after you learn how to do a pivot, the next step is to learn how to do an axle stall. An axle stall is the stall version of a 50-50. So it's a 50-50 that's not moving. You're going to do the same thing as a pivot. You're going to turn your front shoulder, get your back wheel up on the coping, and then you're going to put your weight on your heels, and you're going to set your front wheel down on the coping too. See, both the wheels are just locked in, resting on the coping, and all your weight is on your heel, so that your board is stalled on the top of the ramp. So to get out of this, all you have to do is put weight on your toes, let your truck slide all the way over, lift your weight off your front foot, put weight on your back foot, and just pivot back into the ramp. So to stall, when you get up there, you're putting weight on your heel to stop, and then you're going to put weight on your toes and lean and turn your shoulder back in to get back into the ramp. For some people, a pivot to fakie is going to be easier than the 50-50 to fakie, just because you kind of just sit up there for a second and push the board back in. So you might want to try that, just give it a shot. I've got a video about how to pivot to fakie, and that might be easier for you, or it might be way harder. So you can try that out. So after that, you're ready to try to learn a 50-50 to fakie. So first off, what I would do is find a really mellow ramp like this one right here and get into an axle stall, and then practice either pivoting, like switch back in, so getting up on the nose and pivoting off the nose back into the ramp, or practice popping back in, so like do a little ollie and like a late 180 back into the ramp. I feel like either of those are going to be easier than actually sliding in. So get comfortable just popping or pivoting back into the ramp so you can get comfortable with the actual motion of sliding fakie back into the ramp. You know, the idea of sliding fakie in the ramp can be a real mental block for a lot of people. So after you're comfortable going back into the ramp fakie, it's time to actually learn this trick. So to do this, you're going to get into that 50-50, put your weight on your heels, and then shift your weight to your toes, and as you do that, lift up with your front wheels and put a little weight on your back foot, and then you're going to push into the ramp. Actually slide the wheels to about here, and then you're going to let your wheels back down, roll into the ramp. To do this, it's easier to do this with a little bit of speed, but you can learn it just stationary too. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, reviews, tutorials, and videos about what I'm learning as I grow as a skateboarder, then hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.